start milking, okay? So we're actually shortchanging ourselves by breeding them too early. And how do we use more economical feed sources to try to reduce the cost of actually raising our heifers? And the big thing I say, it's either byproducts or it's going to be pasture. Those are definitely two biggest pieces of it. So grazing can actually help all those goals. But when we take a look at raising a dairy heifer or a beef heifer, so when we take a look at depending on how much pasture they can actually use, so anywhere from 12.
One to ensile it, wrap it, or give it an extended drying time.
I want to just express that comment again because it's a great comment. This does not dry down easily, especially in our environment. And so we got to be thinking about doing something different than dry hay with this. It's something like baleage or haylage, chopping it, is going to be the best way to move forward in a system like this, because by the time this is dry, our alfalfa leaves are gone. And so we got to be thinking about how you're going to use it differently as well. Thank you so much for that comment. That's a great comment.
What would your thoughts be about just the comparison of the millet, the sorghum sedan grass versus like a perennial ryegrass?
You know, you're running into some problems that maybe weren't prepared for in the fall. Your stand maybe didn't survive as well. And so I've gotten a lot of questions, actually kind of recently, is how can I keep my alfalfa stand for one more year? And a lot of times people lean on a lot of our cool seasons. Let's interseed some red clover, let's interseed some orchard grass, and those types of things. And they are great options. I don't want to diss those. But how well do we think it's going to be if our alfalfa is 6 inches tall and we interseed red clover or orchard grass? It's going to be hard on it. It's not going to do very well. We need to interseed those really early in the spring before our alfalfa is starting to green up. Basically, as soon as we can get them in, our red clover is a great frost seeder so that it has a chance, because it's a small seedling versus an established plant. And alfalfa is a very good grower. It has a great taproot. Even when it gets thin, it's a great competitor, and it's going to take moisture and things away.
Yeah. You gotta sign the waiver.
What do you get free if you get it all down?
A firm
Start out today with is to cover a little bit about plant characteristics and what they do and what that means. So, Chris, I'm going to throw the first curveball at you and have you talk a little bit about the brachytic and the dwarf traits. And I'm going to go grab a couple of examples and then I will help you walk through that. How's that sound? How many guys are actually using sorghums of any kind in this room? Okay, so 30-40%. How many of you guys are wanting to move into sorghum? Usually everybody here, right? So brachytic dwarf came out probably about 10 years ago in mass from when we were working cows. Sent them to Amarillo. I did all his farming the rest of the summer. Planted all PMRs. Didn't think anything about it. He planted red top cane generally in the past. You guys are familiar with that old guy. Called me while he was calving. Was just really griping me out. So I went to go see what I did wrong, right? You know, family. And so I show up and nearly all of his cows had a hard time calving. Well, they were too fat. He kept feeding the same amount of feed, even though I was.
Looks like you got all your information.
Did you get one that looks like this last year?
It looks like more square.
Okay,
I got it.
so this would have probably a few more changes on it, but there are still like